What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. It is your boy Sandy De Jesus. 6 years in content creating, working with J-Lo, Dennis Rodman, Gary Vaynerchuk, New York Giants, just to name a few, Miley Cyrus. Like, I gotta start throwing other people in here so you guys know who I've worked with. Worked with a ton of people. That's what I'm trying to say. I've learned a lot, and I want to help you create content because it's only getting more competitive. And if you're a pro and you believe in yourself, I want to empower you. So make sure you stick to the end of the video because we're gonna be dropping tips. Today's content is going to be about what platform should you create content for, right? And so the number one question you have to first ask yourself is, what is your goal? Is your goal purely brand awareness? You just want a lot of people to know about you? And do you want to get into broad kind of content of, do you want to be an entertainer or kind of just a personal development guide? If you just want to be a personal development guide or an entertainer, you'll only probably ever focus on brand awareness. If you're getting into content creation for the purpose of bringing awareness to your service or your product, then that is also something you need to take into consideration when you're choosing a platform. Because when it comes to platforms, not to say that all types of people aren't on each platform, but certain platforms will make it easier for you to reach your goals. Reaching your goals is a huge part of creating content, right? Not to say that it's all about you and that, like, it's only about your goals. Obviously, we're trying to provide content and provide value for other people, but right, like, you are the source. And if you're the source, your energy and how you operate is a priority, because you can't create content consistently if your goals aren't being met, if your needs aren't being met. So ask yourself, what is your goal? Because when it comes to LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok, and IG, Twitter, just to name like 5, there are like different goals depending on what you want, where you can apply these certain like visions and goals onto these platforms and hit what it is that you're looking for, right? If your goal is to start a blog, right, and write about stuff, Twitter, right? You see how that adds up? If your goal is to be an entertainer and you just want to show people how funny you are, you should probably start on YouTube. If your goal is to provide awareness around your profession, funny enough, TikTok and IG, right? Like, it's something that, like, you need to take into consideration when it comes to your goals, right? Are you trying to sell a product? Are you trying to entertain? And go from there, right? Number 2 is how do you best communicate, right? So, like, the example we give for Twitter, how do you best communicate? Are you just a natural writer? Are you just the type of person that can hop in front of the camera and just talk about anything? Do you need a script? All these different things. That's how you decide what platform you are on as well, because if you are trying to put out content daily and you're trying to compete with other people for the algorithm and for the attention of the algorithm, you have to be able to create content consistently. Make sure you guys subscribe, because I'm dropping a video on how to post daily content on social media. And I feel like if you're interested in this type of content, that is something definitely you want to watch. Figure out how it is you best communicate. I'm a talker, and I've also have 6 years of experience. So I just quite literally have to ask myself questions and I can provide value, right? Like, and I know that YouTube is a search engine. So providing the answers to these questions that I know that people in kind of like my community would need answering, I know exactly what type of content to create. And I also know that I'm a pro. I have 6 years of experience. I can talk about these things just on camera. I don't need a full-blown script. I have bullet points, for example. Like, I just have bullet points. And number 3 is, what do you have time for, right? What do you have time for? Creating content on YouTube is so hard. Writing content on Twitter, not that challenging. Creating content on LinkedIn is challenging because you're reaching professionals. You need to provide value. Creating content on TikTok and IG Reels is slightly less challenging, right? If you have the money to outsource whatever you can. You have to recognize that creating content on social media is a job. It's a company. So you have to perform. You have to put performance over your feelings. If you're spending a bunch of money on leisure, but you say you have these goals that you want your business to grow, you want your awareness to grow, it's kind of like a lack of priorities, right? Like, you have to try and delegate and kind of move more content out there. And if that requires adding a $500 bill, a $1,000 bill, a $5,000 bill, a $10,000 bill a month, just so that can be done by somebody else, you know what I mean? It's like, it's a question of like, oh, I can't afford that. It's how can I afford that? And that's something that you need to ask yourself, because if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business person, you got to compete, point blank period. You have to compete, and money is just a tool. You have to get unemotional about this entire thing and use it so that you can keep buying back your time, because you're the source of your company, right? You are the source of the content. And if you're constantly stressed out and don't have time for anything, creating content consistently is just not sustainable. Spend the money. It is worth it. My tips would be study your competitors. As unique as we are all, individually, there are other people doing what it is that you want to do, at least to some degree. Go study them. Go look at what they do. When I first started, I asked myself, why does Casey Neistat use certain songs? Why does Casey Neistat cut the way he cuts? Why does he title it the way he titles it? Ask yourself questions. Great quote is, success leaves clues, right? Like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Go look at what other people are doing, kind of create a vision board for yourself, create a plan, stick to it, so on and so forth. And try all the platforms. I'm posting on LinkedIn, TikTok, IG, YouTube. I've messed around with Twitter, but I just know that that's not my main goal right now. I don't really need the Twitter success. So I tried it in the past. Now I know I don't need it. I'm focusing on my 4 platforms. And that's how I'm kind of dictating what it is that what platforms I'm prioritizing, because I know myself. I put enough time in to the game. If you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram at I'm Super Sandy. Comment them down below, and let's talk more, guys. I'm here to help. I have a lot of experience, and I want to empower you guys to do your thing. Make sure you guys subscribe, comment if you have any questions, and like. I'm going to be dropping 3 videos a day answering all the questions that I come across in my profession, and I want you to benefit from it, so don't miss out. Make sure you guys subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.